How's it going, folks? Welcome back to another Ranger Talk video. Today, I'm going to be chatting with the mighty Stu McGill from Silent Night. How's it going,
Good
sir?
man. Good, going real good. Thanks. How are you, man?
Good, good, doing super good as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course, man. Well, after you gave us the fantastic recently, I couldn't say no.
Right. That's the way I lure you guys in, you know,
That's
just
right.
the fantastic and perfect. Yeah, no, I mean, the full force, that song blew me away. And I got to be honest, that was the first time I even have come across your band Silent Night. And I was quite impressed. And y'all are from Australia, right? Don't really come across too many power metal bands from the land down under.
Well, there's a few here. Like but we're in Western Australia, and that's like furthest city from anything really. It's on the opposite side of the country, and we're the only power metal band here, and we've been going like 12 years or so. And
Wow.
there's never been no even in that time we've done such great stuff, but no one else has ever bothered to even try to do it. So I'm kind of disappointed, but it's also like a little bit stoked as well at the same time because like when all the bands like Dragon Force or Halloween came to town, we get to open for them. So that's
Oh,
great.
that's awesome.
We've had heaps of really good opportunities because there's not a lot of bands like us around, but also we've done well in other ways as well. But in terms of Australian power metal bands, like Black Majesty and Vanishing Point and Lord,
Okay.
there's some of which are well known around, but sometimes I think like the guys from Lord played Prog Power USA a few years ago, and
Oh, right, right.
yeah, so there's a few guys like that have done quite well, but it's not as big as like in Germany, for example.
No, yeah, that's kind of cool. You kind of have a bit of a monopoly going on over there in your
Yeah,
region.
yeah. It costs us a lot of money to have that monopoly, but yeah, sure.
Right. What's the metal scene in general like over there? I get you said that you're pretty much the only power metal band, but is metal in general big there, or not even that
Um,
so much?
like touring bands, they've just we haven't had any bands for a couple of years because of COVID, but they're just Ailstorm's playing here in a couple of months. And
Okay.
that's sold out a bunch of cities already. Like that's going to be a really big tour. So bands like that, a lot of touring bands will do really well. Local scene, it sort of hit and miss. It's sort of like the bands that are really great, they do really well. And then, but the starting out is like a real slog to, you might have, but the scene's good. We have a couple hundred people come out a lot of the time, and that's considered, for local shows, it's good. And we go on tours, and yeah. But then you get those big club shows when usually the best sort of gigs are the ones you get when you're supporting the big bands coming through town. They're usually the best ones.
Awesome. So yeah, so I guess you already have a few albums under your belt with the band, and now you're releasing the new one, Full Force, which comes out September 23rd, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Have Is this album going to be any different, really, from your previous albums? Is there anything you guys have kind of wanted to build upon, your previous albums to include here, or
Well, we
is
have
it?
there's a new singer, Dan. He joined the band a couple of years ago, and we did a couple of cover songs released last year just for fun, basically just to test them out in the studio while we started recording for Full Force.
Yeah.
So there's a different voice, which is a pretty prominent feature. Jesse, who did the last couple of albums, the studio albums with him are great too, but he just left the band basically. So
Okay.
find somebody new, and Dan was a friend of mine, and we'd worked together on some other stuff, and he came in and did an audition. Just crazy, like I'd never seen him sing power metal before. He's like really into rock and roll as well.
Oh,
So he
okay.
done he would do like Dio, Sabbath sort of stuff, and
Yeah.
a lot of that. And then so well, yeah, it's worth a shot. Yeah, it said to the guys like, yeah, we'll get him in for an audition, and he had like a week or two to learn the songs. He just came and just ripped it, like all the high stuff was just, and we was like, all right, you're in. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
The song wise, they're very similar, but they've evolved to be better. Like the songwriting team is like being me and Cam, the other guitarist, and we do all the music and most of the lyrics as well and the melodies. So we sort of present the song to the rest of the band and say like, here's the song, here's how it goes. And there'll be times where like maybe the singer will be singing a line that won't quite gel for him, so we might change as once he hit the studio. Sometimes things change, or
Yeah.
drum feels there will change, but the general 90% of the song's ready. So the songwriting has similar vibes, but just like the next level up, I think. So yeah, a song like Full Force, I tried to write that one for a long time, and just basically just threw every element of power metal into it. Like okay, well, now we need the wall section. Now we need the fist, the slow part with the fists, and then we need the double solo. We need the double chorus.
Yeah.
And the ad lib. Like let's just chuck it all in, and yeah, that's how that came about. Anyway, just everything we could, like every band we idolize, we just ripped all the best parts and put it into one. But yeah, there's heaps of, there's 8 tracks on the album, so there's more of that. But yeah.
That's a very fitting title for that song too, Full Force, because you guys definitely go full force. I mean, even at the end,
literal.
Yeah, even at the end, there's like 5 power metal screams or something that he does. You know, it's just boom, boom, boom. It's just, oh man.
I mean, whoa, yeah.
Every time I thought it was over, it's like it amps even more. It's like, wow.
Well, that's what I loved about. Yeah, I've never really seen a lot of reaction videos, especially for like power metal and stuff. But like, when I saw you reacting, I was like, yes, well, that's kind of what you were supposed to do. Like, that's what we were doing when we were writing it. We're like, what do we do? And like we were like doing exactly the same, but we just had numerous versions of doing it, and then we had to wait 2 years for it to come out. So you know, we actually finished this album like June, July last year.
Really?
I just sat there. Yeah, because Australia's been locked down for so long.
Yeah.
We couldn't go and do anything, and a couple of the guys, their girlfriends had babies last year, like back in, so like we knew they were, obviously they knew they were pregnant. So we're like, well, there's no point releasing an album when your wife's about to have a baby next month. No, that's not fair. Go to be a dad, do that. Once COVID clears up and, you know, you got the kids, you know, your life's settled down a bit, then we'll get it done then. So yeah, it's actually, we've been sitting on it for like, a year just sitting there. So it's good to finally get some feedback on it. And yeah.
I bet some of the guys were like, oh yeah, that's right, we do have an album, right, that's releasing. You know, it's like, thanks for reminding. I totally forgot.
Well, we spent a fortune on it. Like, this album's cost more than all the other ones. That's because we mixed in-house previously. We got a studio to mix it this time, mastered in over in Europe as well.
Wow.
And just like we've spent a fortune on PR, and we made actual video clips. There's a couple more videos to come on this one with like studio clips. So all this, so it was worth waiting for, to do all this stuff that properly and save up the extra cash to do it. And the band had a little bit of money put away from previous stuff. So that was helpful. Whereas when you're sort of starting out, you've got nothing. You just have to kind of like get something put out so you can start playing shows and making some fans. So yeah, but like, the guys are really patient. They're like, can we just put this album out already? I'm like, we're gonna get it. I'd love to, but we just got to finalize this. We don't want to do it by half. If we invested so much in it, we want to make sure it's done properly. So
yeah, well, that's so cool. You guys have the opportunity this time to really, I guess, I keep going back to it, but Full Force can't seem to be even more appropriate than it is for that song, and that's the name of the album, right? I mean, you guys are going all in, it seems like. So
yeah, well, the other 2 albums, it's kind of been like the title tracks have been sort of mission statements as well. So the first one was The Master Plan, which was basically like the idea of the song was sort of structured around the formation of the band. And like, we had like, when I sort of came up with the idea for the band, I was like, had all these ideas of like, this is what we're going to do, and we'll find guys that are willing to do this way. And if not, they're probably not the right guys. So there was a whole thing about that. So you can sort of like go through the lyrics of that song, Master Plan, and so we made that the title track. And then the second one was Conquer and Command. So I thought, okay, we're ready to kick some ass now. Level up the songwriting a little bit. We had a new voice, and things are a little bit better again. And then this time, Full Force. We're going all in on it.
That's awesome. So how did the idea for the band really come to be? If you said you guys are the only power metal band in the region, how'd you find other guys to be like, oh yeah, we should do a power metal band, and not be like, power metal, why would we do that out here?
Well, I just got really lucky like one night. So I had the idea to do it, and there's like, this is back in like the late 2008, 2009 sort of time. So, a fair while ago.
Yeah.
Internet wasn't quite as good, there's forums and stuff like that. So I remember like hitting up all the message boards and just saying, oh, hey, guitarist looking to start power metal band. Not much action. A couple of guys didn't. A lot of people who applied didn't really understand what the music was about. You know,
Right.
yeah, I wasn't having a lot of luck. A couple of guys came down to jam and just never really got very far. Then I was just at a club one night watching a band. I was just at the bar, just sort of watching it. And then this really young guy, he's like 18 or so, just walked past. I had like a Megadeth shirt on. He's like, "Oh, hey, cool shirt." I'm like, "Sweet, thanks, man." And we just started chatting. Turns out that's now Cam, the guy who started the band with me. Never met him.
Wow.
Yeah, if he didn't say anything to me, I just would have probably never would have happened. But he's like a shred master, as you know.
Yeah.
But he's at his another band, which is a thrash band, and he was trying to recruit me for that. And because he needed a second guitarist for that band, I was like, how about I want to start this other band. And so in the end, I sort of sucked it in. I had some demos that I'd written, and I was like, "Oh, why don't you just play lead guitar on my demo to help me find someone else?"
Right.
And then he goes, "Oh, I can do that as a favor. That's okay." And I was going to play on one of his video clips, I think, or something to trade.
Right.
But to help him out because they were going to put a video out. So I was going to do that. He will do that for me. And then he came back about a week later and he goes, "Oh, I really like these songs, man. I think I want to do it." And so he's like, Can I write one of the songs?" I said, "Yeah, go for it." He goes, "How about this one?" He sends me a song. I said, "Come on, man." He's like, "All right, I'm in." Then we got on from there. So yeah, that's basically how it worked. Just by finding a real like-minded dude. Like we're into all the same sort of stuff. Just perfect timing. Really, right place, right time. And and we're like best mates. So it worked out great.
That's awesome. That's a super cool like origin story for the band.
Yeah.
What influences kind of drive the sound of Silent Night, or inspirations, really? Other bands or just other media or what have you?
Well, like probably the core ones would be like Iron Maiden, but try to play it faster. Yeah, all the melodies that they would sort of do, the two guitar parts. Iced Earth is a really big influence for us as well. I know you guys in the US would be all about those guys. Not so much recently, but you know, yeah. But yeah, the back catalog legacy is insane, and that fast triplet picking, and we've sort of tried to mimic that. Plus, those outro choruses they do with the double voices, and a lot of that's from there. Halloween, of course, from Germany. A lot of the German bands,
classics.
Yeah, like Blind Guardian, Gamma Ray, Halloween, Iron Savior, Storm Warrior, all those sort of ones that sort of are speed and power, sort of the like less symphonic stuff. But I like some of those as well. Like a lot of we'll steal the vocal line, ideas, like the melodies. You got powerful bands like like Rhapsody or
the soaring melodies,
all that sort of stuff. So all those sort of elements from like those, just less keyboardy stuff. We have there's synth tracks in the mixes, but not prominently up front like a keyboard players in the bands, basically. But all those sorts of bands are, like Hammerfall's another example. All these sort of great bands are what we sort of work with. Cam's really into like the pop stuff as well, so he writes most of the lyrics, like 99% of the lyrics he'll do. Excuse me. So and melody wise, so sometimes you might find they're pretty catchy, and that's kind of because he's really into pop music. So it's not the worst, because it's like we've covered a few popular songs, like we did Lady Gaga's Bad Romance.
Oh really?
And we've done like Europe's The Final Countdown's another one, and that was a huge video for us. But just taking popular songs and making them they all got power metal elements to them if you just change the rhythms. Like it's all perfectly translates over easy.
Wow, that's awesome. And so lyrically, is this like a concept album, or every song just kind of a different
the latter?
Or what's the theme there?
Oh, they're all different songs for different reasons. So like I couldn't give you all the explanations right off the bat because I didn't write all the lyrics. So like often, so we usually kind of write half the album each, music wise, and then get together and like if it's a song up, like because Cam does most of the lyrics. If it's a song I've written, like I'll come up with a name for the song normally as well, and be like, okay, here's a general idea in the theme for the lyrics, which just like it's a topic. Full Force was one of my ones. We have a new video coming out on Wednesday called Blood in the Water, and that's another one.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool song. It's got a sort of like bit of Megadeth vibe about that one, but classic vocals. And that song's it's like kind of relates with the whole social media bullying mentality of a lot of people, where,
Okay.
like you might have a guy getting picked on for his point of view, and everyone jumps on that guy, and you've never met that guy, you don't know him, this
Right.
faceless dude's just copping it. And sometimes all it takes is one person just to stand up and stick up for you, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, it's okay to have the different opinion,
Right.
sometimes you just gotta stick up for someone else. But yeah, there's a lot of that sort of stuff, a lot of empowering stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just fantasy, sometimes it's stuff only we'll understand, because it's like double sort of like I was what's the word when you oh completely blanked, metaphorics, yeah, like
Oh
metaphors.
yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, there's a lot of metaphors in there and stuff like that, but
Up
yeah,
for
it's
interpretation, really, I guess. You
yeah,
guys have
yeah,
your meaning, and then other people are able to kind of just what it means to
yeah,
them. So
that's right, and that's completely okay too. Like, as long as the song vibes for you, man, like you can, if it helps you get through, like a lot of the ideas with the songs is like, especially when we first started out, I was like, well, what's going to make me feel good? Because if it doesn't make me feel good, it's not going to make you feel good probably either. So you've got to try, if it hits you first, or me first, and then then hopefully that translates. So that's like, it could be lyrically, you can interpret that how you like, or the vibe of the music. You like something different to what I like, but hopefully we can put enough elements in there that'll hit you as well. And yeah, and you might not like that part as much as I do, or vice versa. But as long as you find something you like, that's good, man.
cool. So it's kind of just how y'all are feeling at that particular moment, or
Yeah.
just yeah, really cool. How did the cover of the album come to be? Because I love that. That's so cool. The dude with the
Oh,
big beard and the flamethrower. I mean,
well,
that's
we use
just
the same, a little bit like Iron Maiden styles. We sort of use the same mascot for the album. So there's a few others with like dragons and clocks and all the rest. So he's on most of our artworks, and
okay.
the dude who does our art, we've been using him for I don't know, 8 or 9 years or so. He's in Croatia. He's just a great dude, great artist. His name's Andre. He's from a company called All Things Rotten. It's a gross name, but he does a lot of death metal. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's actually like the biggest teddy bear you've ever met. Like, but he's drawing like skulls and maggots and all the rest.
Oh yeah.
But he's a lovely dude, and he amazing artist. And so I just like, he's really into video games, and me and him have become friends over the years. Like, we chat all the time, even when we're not working. And he's into PlayStation and collectibles of video games, and
Yeah.
so I was like, well, hey, why don't we just make like a video game cover? Sometimes it sort of reminds me of, I was into I think it was like a Call of Duty had come out at the time,
Yeah.
and playing that a lot. He was playing that as well, and we're like, cool, what they do with the guns there, and that's a cool idea to start. And I was like, make it more futuristic this time, because the last few were more like set in dragon times, and
Okay.
like old wizardry sort of looking guys. So
Yeah.
we'll put it forward into the future and make it look more up to date. And yeah, he just came. So this album's actually got 4 different pieces of artwork. So we've got
Oh.
numerous singles. Yeah, so there's artwork for all the singles, and then the
Uh-huh.
main album as well. So there's actually heaps to look forward to, which is really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
So, all of the songs on the album, typically, I guess the heart of the songs is really like the guitar, would you say?
Yeah, it usually starts with a riff. And then a lot of the time we'll sort of use uh, the chorus melody might also feature in the intro, for example, like on guitar.
Hmm.
So that's it's pretty standard sort of power metal way to do that. But yeah, it usually starts with like an aggressive guitar of some sort, and then we build it from there. So yeah, you'd be right in thinking that, I think.
Okay. And so, well, Full Force is quite shred heavy on the guitar with the solos and stuff. And I imagine we're going to get a good fair amount of more of that on the rest of the album, right?
Oh, for sure. Every song.
Oh,
Maybe not.
awesome.
Yeah, maybe not a double solo in every song, because that was pretty. But yeah, every song will have a total shred fest in it, and Cam's all over it. Like, it's, I don't know how he does it, but every time it sounds like him, but it sounds different every time as well. So
Wow.
like, they're all are pretty original. He's blazing it, and double track them, and it just sounds incredible. So if you're into shredding guitar solo, Yngwie Malmsteen or Steve Vai or something like that, then you'll love it.
Wow. So the faces are guaranteed to be melted without a doubt.
Well,
But
if
I
it's
guess it's
not the
fitting for the flamethrower, right?
That's right. Yeah, but it's not the falsetto voice peeling your face off. It would be the guitar
Yeah,
solos or something. It's
yeah,
one of the
man,
two.
he can wail, huh?
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, like it's actually ridiculous. We'll be at rehearsals and we're just like look over at him and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? Like, how did this even happen? Like, come on, it's so good. And we're all just like good mates as well, so like we can hang out and
Oh,
just talk. So it's actually really nice. Yeah.
that's hilarious. I love that story. You said he's more of kind of a rock and roll guy. You're like, oh, let's see if he can kind of pull this off. And he just went in there and just started wailing.
Well, that's all I knew him of. Like, I don't even seen his rock and roll sort of stuff, but it turns out he loves US power metal. Like, he's into Agent Steel and like heaps of like a Riot, heaps of bands like that.
Yeah.
So he's like really like really old school cassette kind of guy. Yeah. So it actually worked out great because I just didn't know that he liked all that stuff.
Mhm.
But I remember I remember he came and watched us play with Dragon Force, and he was like, "Oh man!" Like he was loving Mark Hudson as a vocalist idea, and
Yeah.
then we sort of stuff like that. So he's got a big range of tastes and also voice. But yeah, so like me and Cam are probably more European sided with the power metal, and he's more US, and it's sort of just mixing together. Like he's got a few excuse me, a few Jeff Tate references going on at the moment. I think a few people have compared him to Queensryche, so that's not the worst thing.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a cool music video that you guys filmed, just showing like a concert that you were filming. What was that, a full-blown concert that you guys did recently?
Yeah. There was it was part like, so we it actually was a bit of a bummer because we filmed a concert a couple of years prior with the old singer, and then it never came out because he like left the band, and like there was no real reason to because like we had to keep moving forward. He wasn't in the band anymore. You don't want to like you just be like looking back rather forwards. We already had a new singer, and then like we had this. We didn't get to play a show in all of 2020 because of COVID, and we got booked for like a club festival, like a big. It was like 400, 500 people show, and like it was like. We live in a city called Perth, and it was like a Perth Rocks festival. It was called, and so it had a lot of rock and metal bands, and we were one of the main acts on there, and it was just a sold out show. We thought, look, this is sold out. We're not going to get a better shot. Then what a great opportunity! So we rattled up a crew and just did it. Well, we sort of concentrated on that song only. We're like, we just said film that. I don't think there's actually. Like we played a full set, but I don't know how much extra footage there was.
Yeah.
Like there might be a few more songs worth, but there was actually, I think the majority of it went in like that. There was a bit of a splice up clip as well. Some of those shots were probably from other songs chucked in there just to make it more exciting because they're, once again, sort of limited budgets and short notice to pull as big a camera crew together as we could. So yeah, I think it came out pretty good though. Like I think it gives a good representation of what the band's like live. The crowd was really into it that night, which is really good. And we did play full force that night. Like that is us playing full force on that video.
Awesome.
That was like I think maybe the first. I think that was the first time we ever played that song live.
Oh wow.
So yeah, there you go. It was good.
Cool. Yeah, they definitely seem to be into it. And sometimes those videos can be really cool because they're somewhat raw. It's like you actually get a true picture of what the band is kind of all about or what they look like when you kind of just get to see them performing it live, as opposed to a super, highly produced music video with all the bells and whistles. So that can be really cool.
And also, especially like obviously it's studio audio on that, not live audio, but
of course.
Yeah, of course. But the fact you actually, when you're doing a music clip in the studio, obviously you're just miming, but there we're actually playing something. So it was real energy that night rather than like when you just miming along to a track, it's really actually cool. But when you got a crowd there to pump you up and you've got the vibrations of all the music, the drums are hitting you and all the rest is actually, so you're getting a true performance. So it's really good.
Awesome. So any plans to do some touring or whatnot in Australia or even outside of Australia in support of this album?
Definitely would like to. It's we're not going to be able to do it this year because there's like pretty much a there's a lot of tours coming through which have been on hold for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So like all the tours that got postponed, like Kiss just came to town this weekend. That got postponed 2 or 3 times. And it's like a 9-show tour across Australia. So there's a lot of venues are really hard to book because it's just basically a flow on effect. Yeah, and then also the market is saturated to shit too because everyone's touring.
Yeah, everyone's held up, and now it's just all unleashed, and it's just mayhem. Everyone going everywhere.
Well, like was it Hellfest over in Europe? They just did a double, 2 years in 2 weekends, really, didn't they? Which is insanely huge, but it's amazing. So hopefully early next year, like maybe March or April, we can start hitting the road and doing something with it. So we're going to play a couple of shows in Perth this year. We've got a few to announce this coming week, so we'll have those, which will be 2 really cool ones. And then hopefully we can start planning some international stuff. We've been to Germany before, which was really great, and we've done a bunch of stuff in Indonesia, some festivals there too. So that at the minimum would be good, and just see where else we can end up. It's just, I know a lot of clubs shut down, or like went out of business or whatever. So that part hasn't been fantastic. So we have to just see what happens when we get the chance. See what's available.
Yeah, sweet. So the new album Full Force releases September 23rd. I bet y'all are just super stoked. You've been waiting a while. Any other new material that you guys already have jotted down that you're already kind of looking to the future on?
You know what? No, I'm sure Cam does. He's talked about it a couple of times. I'm like, no, I'm not interested. This album's gonna last for a couple of years. Like, it took us so long to do it, and and I'm gonna go on about the financials because like we did it independently, and it's a lot of money. Like, it really is. So it's not something a lot of other places want to do albums every 2 years or something like that. It's like when you have label backing, but that's just not going to. That just can't be sustained. So I just want to see how well this one can do, push it as far as it can go, and then once that's we get some good feedback and get some sales on that and get some good reviews and get the tours happening, and then we can think about the next one later. But this one's got all our heart and soul in this one at the moment. So and you know what, to be honest, I'm scared of having to go back and try and top it because I think it's that good.
Wow.
Like, I don't know how I'm going to do better. Like,
wow.
Somehow do something, because like you can't come back from something that you think is that good and then like the next one's disappointing.
Right. So, that's always a bummer. Wow, if people weren't stoked before, I think they're even more stoked now that you're saying that you don't even know how you guys would be able to top this one. So
I don't know how. Like, I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
But we'll have to, like, once we've played the songs a whole bunch and become better you get better as time goes on. And
right.
I'm sure it'll happen, but right now I just don't even want to think about it. It's a bit overwhelming to even think, if I had to try and do that again right now, I think it's too much. Sorry to everyone out there. We got this brand new album coming out now, though, which is great.
Right. No, everyone will get a chance. Everyone will get a chance to really digest it. And I mean, it just based off Full Force, the song alone, it seems to be pack a lot in there. The guitar shreds, the very melodic vocals and pounding drums, and so there's a lot to look forward to for this album. Is it going to get a physical release?
We've pressed it in Australia and in Europe. So there's a few different options to buy it. We haven't done vinyl. It's just super expensive. Mm-hmm. We'd like to do it, but there was a lot of requests for it, but you have to book, you always have to do like minimum of like 250 units. And the more you get, the cheaper it gets as well. So if you do 500 or 1,000, it's cheaper. I just can't sell that many.
I've heard there's been a real delay, it's been really backed up with like vinyl pressings and stuff lately anyway, I guess.
That's true. The one in Europe, they were quoting us, couldn't do it till next year anyway.
Right.
Which is probably not the worst for us so we're doing a cassette version as well, which is, so we did the last album of cassette as well. So the Asian market really like cassette. And then that's sort of flowing on to some of the old school guys now like to have the cassette tape. So We got those organized. We got CDs, yeah, like in Europe. So EMP in Europe is one of the stockists, which is a pretty big online store.
Mm-hmm.
So they will be able to ship most of the northern hemisphere, probably the cheapest option. And then if you're in Australia or the southern hemisphere, probably ship it from Australia. But you can just like hit up our socials or just jump on onto Google and Silent Night Full Force album buy or something. You should be able to find a copy around. We're doing a bunch of t-shirts and all that sort of stuff in Australia as well. But for the time being, that's just over here because it's, well, you know, shipping is just COVID destroys shipping as well. Like it's like $30 to send it to just to mail a t-shirt or something. It costs more than the t-shirt itself. You know?
You pay more for shipping.
It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Yeah. I have to ask. I almost forgot. I have to ask about the hot sauce that you guys made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How did that start? What's the deal with that? It's so cool.
It actually worked out really fun. So there's a couple of guys who run a touring company here called Soundworks, and they actually own a burger joint as well, which is really good. And then so one of the dudes who's a partner in Soundworks, he just likes to do a bunch of little side hustles, and he's really into chili sauce. So he just started making chili sauce and selling it at the burger joint. And then some bands came on, like bands like Psychroptic, which are one of the big Australian bands, and King Parrot. They started having their own signature sauces made by these guys, Bump In Sauce. And these guys live in our city, like we know them.
Yeah.
We know them for years. And I was like, when I wrote the line in Full Force, metal is my power source, I'm coming out full force. And then it's like one day I was like, hey, what if we had like full force power source? It's just like, it's like one of the most convenient puns. And I emailed my friend and I said, oh, hey man, are you still doing the sauces? He's like, oh, I'm going to do one more batch, or like, I'm going to call it quits soon. Oh, wow. I said, oh, can you do? Yeah, he goes, I'm too busy because touring, because he was running a touring company.
Yeah.
And then he was mostly doing it during COVID, I think, because he couldn't do any tours. So he had to find other avenues of making money. So he's like, oh, look, I'm going back to tours. They got Ailstorm and a bunch of other stuff coming in. There's like, oh, okay, I'll do one more batch. I'll make you your own one. And I said, great. Okay, it's called Full Force Power Source. And so it's really limited. We've sold maybe half the order or something like that. So there's maybe 20 or something bottles left.
Yeah.
It's just a fun novelty thing. Like it's, I just thought, why not? Like it doesn't cost a lot of money. They're local. It supports my friend as well. Like helps him out, helps us out. It just gives everyone something else to buy. Like the bottle's really cool. It's got the album cover logo and the font's changed for, and I think it's like, might be a little cool collectible someday. Like, really like, I think he only made 50 bottles of it or something like that. So it's pretty rare.
Pretty rare. Yeah. That looks pretty, I mean, it just looked really cool. I was like, oh man, that's so awesome. Do you guys shipping that internationally at all, or if folks? Yeah.
The alt merch website, which we're running out of Australia, altmerch.com.au, I don't know. There's international shipping on everything. So you can buy the sauce just on its own if you wanted to. I don't know how much shipping costs because we're not shipping it from our house. It's like coming from a company. But if anyone over there wants to buy just the sauce, and then I'm sure there's options to get it to you. It's it's higher price than walking into a supermarket because it's such a small batch. Yeah, it's like $20 for a bottle. But I think they've got a few different bundles on the website. You can buy like the t-shirt and the sauce and the cassette and the CD and the whatever. Like it gets cheaper.
The whole kit and caboodle,
yeah. The more you add, the cheaper it gets. So we try to make things as affordable as we can while still covering our costs. Because we want to make it as accessible as possible. Like metal fans still buy CDs, which is great. I don't know what it's like in the US, but I know in Europe and Australia, a lot of CDs still get bought. And t-shirts, everyone wants to wear a t-shirt. We sell more t-shirts at shows because the shipping on a t-shirt sucks. So we always have a better chance of selling a t-shirt at the show. And we'll try the sauce, see how that goes. And that's just for fun. I don't even care. If you have to use it all myself, I will. I like making Mexican food and burgers and stuff, so I'll use it. I'll have all my friends over for a barbecue or something. But there's actually a few videos. There's a guy who does like restaurant reviews in our city who's a metal fan, and he did a chicken wing cook up with the sauce and made a video for Instagram and TikTok. That was pretty fun.
That's awesome. I feel like it would be quite the dilemma, somebody bought the sauce and then they're kind of sitting there like looking at it like, I want to keep it like sealed and closed for the collectible item, but oh man, like I also want to try it. Like
I took two for myself out of the order just for that exact reason.
that's
So
a good idea.
I used one for my for cooking, and I used one. I was like, that one can't be opened. I just got to leave it as it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, two, yeah. Buy two, everyone. Buy
There
two.
you
We'll get rid
go.
of.
Hey, that's what you
Perfect.
got to
Thanks.
do.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'll put all the links to all that stuff in the description below. So all you folks out there, if you want to, check out that merch and the sauce and all that, you can do that and find that. Yeah, so cool. So now you guys are just playing the waiting game. The new album comes out September 23rd,
Yep.
full force, and released digitally, physically, all that good stuff.
Yep. If you're into digital, you're into physical, you can get it anywhere. Pretty much, check out our website, or just Facebook. Even is probably the easiest one to do it from, or just chuck it on Google, and yeah, it should use your should point you in the right direction, man. But yeah, I think. Well, if you liked any of the previous albums, I think you really, really love this new one, and hopefully we can do better next time. We'll see.
Awesome,
Yeah,
man.
5 years time, we'll try again.
Yeah. Hey, well, it seems like this album will give us a lot to sink our teeth into. So, I think we'll be, what's the word I'm looking now? I'm struggling to find a word I'm looking for, but content, I guess, with, what we have here, and this will be good. So I know for when I'm really looking forward to this new album, I got to go back myself and listen to the previous albums. So there's, for those of us like myself who have not heard the previous albums, we're going to have like 4 albums to listen to as it is.
So yeah, what happened with the so there's one that's got the name same. So we recorded the first album twice. So yeah, there's Master Plan came out in 2013 with our original singer, but then we've re-recorded that one in 2017. Just called it The Master Plan. So there's no, you probably won't find the original one anywhere.
Okay.
That's like, yeah, long gone. It was a bit rushed. Production wasn't, we didn't give a lot of time for production and experience wise and stuff like that. So we had a different singer at the time too. So we re-recorded that. But if you go on Spotify, we got there'll be 3 albums, 2 EPs, some live stuff on the EPs as well. Some heaps of really good covers. We even covered Halloween's Keeper of the Seven Keys, which is like,
oh man, minutes. Check that out.
Yeah, we've done covers of Megadeth Holy Wars, that's a really good cover, I think. The Final Countdown by Europe. We got Dreams by Van Halen. What was the other one? Bad Romance. Heaps of songs, heaps of content.
Yeah, all kinds of variety and diversity.
Yeah, check out the YouTube channel there's some few clips on there as well, some live ones, some studio ones, and yeah, there's more coming too. More coming this week. So,
awesome. Yeah. Can't wait. Lots of stuff to check out, and this new album, I can't wait for it. Thank you, Stu, so much for joining me on this chat. I really enjoyed it. Getting a chance to talk with you. So you taking the time to speak with me, just really, really appreciate it a lot.
Thanks for reaching out, man. Like you're doing a really great job over there, and I enjoy your videos. And yeah, I hope you keep it up, man, and everyone gets some enjoyment out of it, and we find some other bands. And yeah, thanks for helping us out with the support.
No, not at all. My pleasure. Thank you so much again, and I wish you the greatest success with this new album. And congratulations that it's only a month away. It's coming out soon. So
yeah. That's right. So yeah, it's actually only 4.5 weeks or so, and we'll be there. So finally, but we'll drip feed stuff along the way. There's still singles to come. So
awesome. Yeah, I'll be checking those out for sure.
Excellent, man. Thank you.
Cool. Well, thanks again, and everybody out there. I put all of the Silent Night social media stuff, your websites, all that stuff down in the description below. Go check all that out. Have a ball, and as Stu said, there's lots of content out there, videos on their YouTube channel and songs out on the Spotify, or you can even go and buy the merch and all that stuff from the stores. So all that's in the description below. Go check it out. The new album, Full Force, is coming out September 23rd, right around the corner. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below. Let us know, Silent Night and myself. Have you been a longtime fan of Silent Night? Are you new to the band? Are you excited for the new album coming out? Let's chat about it. And I'll catch you all next time. Ranger, out.